The broadcast is live. You son of a gun, you.
Evening, Pops. How are you?
I am well. Getting used to this remote stuff.
Hey, well, I'll be back soon enough. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
I'm not too worried.
All right, so we've got Thursday night. That means members only live stream. We have so many questions that we need to answer, Dad. Did you check out the community today? Because it is popping off.
I have not. I do apologize. I like to be surprised, so I don't look.
Fair enough. We will be going through that in just a second. I want to toss out there an idea. I didn't get a chance to execute on it today, but I'd like to get feedback from everyone on the stream tonight. I mentioned it to you. I called you earlier, Dad, to run it by you. Justice, I see you on the stream as well. I know I mentioned it to you and Kimberly as well. I think we should put together, start to crowdsource a database of dealerships that aren't charging additional dealer markup on cars. And so I'm thinking this will be like a spreadsheet, like a Google sheet, something like that we can all contribute to when we come across dealerships that aren't doing additional dealer markup on vehicles right now. And it'll be something searchable, free, like all of us will be able to access it and contribute to it. I know I talked to you about it, Dad. You thought it was a pretty good idea. So I'm curious if anyone in the stream tonight has any opinions on that.
My only thought is that it's going to be an awfully short spread list.
Spreadsheet list.
Yeah, spreadsheet list. Well, when you said Google Sheets, I was thinking they're having a sale at the Google store right now.
We need to come up with another thing we've been working on just to keep everyone kind of in the loop. We've been working on getting YAA mugs, so we have those. I'll get you one, Pops. I made you one. I by hand made you one time.
I use it.
But the other thing we've been working on is kind of like, oh man, I don't want to say naughty or nice list, but we've been coming up with like a code of ethics for for dealerships that we want to refer people to essentially, or recommend. So we're working on that too, just trying to find ways that we can help people stop wasting time beating their head up against a wall with people who don't want to have a fair car deal. What's the saying? Pigs get slaughtered, hogs go to heaven.
Last time I checked, hogs live at the beach, and pigs, you can find most of them in the bacon section at your local supermarket.
So Cardad says he heard that GM is shutting down all U.S. plants for a few weeks due to the chip shortage. Yeah, we've seen a lot of crazy things going on with regards to the chip shortage recently. It's nuts.
Yes, and the chip shortage that really is. Yes,
exactly. All right, I'm going to share my screen, Dad, and let's start moving and grooving.
Well, this 70-year-old can move and groove better than most.
All right. Well, before we start, I will remove myself and go for it. You can.
I can now what?
Dance.
Yeah, buddy. There you go. That was the yeah, buddy dance. Oh, God. Yeah, buddy. You know what's fun to imagine? People pay for this shit.
Oh, you are fantastic. All right, let's up into it, Pops.
Yes.
Lemminkus Menicus, who bought his truck recently.
He did great.
Yeah, let's open that up. Let's see if I can find it here in the success stories. I bought my truck.
Yes.
Awesome, sweet roasted almonds. Awesome success story here. Yep, got the Ray Shevska stamp of approval. Awesome, really awesome. Let's see. Ray, Pops, with deals still being out there, albeit few and far between, what advice can you give to, newer almond haulers that make magnificent transportation ASAP but don't have the fiscal resources affluent landscapers have while really milking that almond thing here? So yes, all right. So
I would say for those folks, those newbies to the almond hauling industry, Lyft or Uber.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it now long enough, and kind of coming up with the naughty or nice list. I really got to come up with a better way to phrase it. That'll be helpful, but still, you're right, Dad. Most dealerships are going to be just charging additional dealer markup because why not? There's not enough cars.
And there won't be enough cars for quite some time. However, I was just reading some of the sales numbers for August, and they're caca.
Yeah, no, they're
Yeah,
really bad. Actually, why don't we take a quick peek at that? And
I believe "cucka" is a technical term used in the industry.
yeah, exclusively
Yeah,
in the industry. So
yeah,
let's take a quick peek just so everyone sees it
yeah.
here. This is the homepage of automotive news right now, updated 5 hours ago. Market slumped 17% as chip crunch spreads.
Yes,
GM to pause light duty pickup production next week. Ford extends chip related downtime at F-150 plants.
yes,
Um, yeah, I mean, let's just hop into this because actually, I remember I think I called you or I texted you right when I saw the Ford number.
yes, yes. And I pulled it up, and it was it's telling. It's telling tales that some manufacturers don't really want to tell.
For everyone that's here on the stream, just so you know, like my dad and I and Kimberly and Justice, like we're all talking about like how can we make YAA helpful? Because like if you remember, we started YAA because it was like we're going to help you negotiate a fair deal. You can't negotiate car deals
Yeah.
right now, so we're trying to find ways, that we can make the experience better. Yeah. So if you have ideas or suggestions, right now, like the premise or what we're working on is how do we find those dealers that aren't going to play games, like honestly, hey Igor, I know you're here. Like people like Igor that are out there, it's like the price is the price. You come in, we're not going to jack it up. Like we're trying to figure out ways that we can like surface those dealerships and help you contact them rather than dealing with everyone else. But it
Yeah,
doesn't hurt. It doesn't help our business the fact that like there's no cars. Just to be clear, so we're not
well,
perpetuating this for no reason.
let's just say that the advent of the pandemic and the supply chain issues and the chip shortage has drastically impacted what it was that we were hoping to do. Um, because if there's a shortage of cars and people are charging more than they normally would, uh, there's no incentive for them to necessarily charge less. So it makes it that much harder to come up with ways to convince dealers that maybe MSRP is just good enough. And so yeah, it's had a negative impact on what we're trying to do. Now, hopefully, what we're doing makes sense moving forward, and maybe 2 years from now, 3 years from now, if we ever get back to normal, the investors won't be too upset that it took that long.
No. Jack mentioned something here. I mentioned in the community about a great Subaru dealer in Orlando, Florida. Yeah, like the best thing we can
Yeah.
do is like celebrate the dealerships that are treating us well.
It would be nice if we could find more dealers that would, as you like to say, play the long game.
Yeah.
And think to themselves, yes, we can charge an extra $5,000, $10,000, $35,000 more as a market adjustment, and never see that customer again after they buy this car. Or we could charge no more than MSRP.
Look at Igor's comment though here, Dad.
Yeah. No, well, I know.
No. But finish reading it.
No over sticker prices at any of my dealerships for now, but I'm being pushed hard to do it because my company and partners are feeling that they are leaving large profit on the table. Well, they're leaving large short-term profit on the table, but that short-term profit could cost them in the long term if those customers never decide to come back.
Definitely, but also because there's no supply and everyone's doing it, everyone gets to do it.
Yes.
We're racking our brains for how we can like be legitimate advocates when like we're all going up against a really challenging fight. You can't make up these headlines. I mean, it's truly. I'll pull it back up on the screen, and then we got to go through the community questions. But
Okay.
I mean, look at this. Ford sales were down 32.7%, year over year. 44
Well, year over year, they're down 33.2% year over year.
32.7.
Well, that's just August.
Yeah, year over year.
Yeah, but for the whole year,
yeah,
they're off 33%.
Yeah. And actually, someone mentioned like what's happening to their stocks. I'm actually kind of curious.
So we're going to look.
Let's do like over the past, I don't know, 5 years. Like it's still up. I don't know. All right, none of this makes sense to me. But
okay, well,
back to the questions.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been following a dealer with 2 new manual transmission graduators.
I'm guessing they might be gladiators, but that's okay.
but they have been on the lot for about 6 months and have around 500 miles on them. The dealer group has a few Jeep dealerships, so the miles may come from driving from lot to lot. But would that combination of age and miles be a concern for buying a new vehicle? What do you?
Would it be a concern? It really shouldn't be. But I will tell you, there are people out there that when they buy a new car, if it has more than 10 miles on it, they don't want it. Okay, they want to know how every mile was put on that car. I cannot believe for an instant that anybody was using that as the driver to go from dealership to dealership. There's very few manual transmission vehicles still left out there. There's very few manual transmission vehicles that are still being built. So I can't imagine that somebody's going to say, "Hey, yeah, let's jump in the stick and drive it." But that could just be people that were interested in buying it, and they've been on so many demo rides that they've amassed 500 miles on them.
And 500 miles on the vehicle is not really going to change the price point.
Okay, well, if you
I'm asking.
No, it could, but how much? I mean, if you charged 50 cents a mile, how much is it going to change things? $250. But here's the real key. If you just assume for a second that the life expectancy of one of these vehicles is 250,000 miles, then what the hell is 500?
Yep. Nope, I agree. But it does eat into the factory warranty. That is the one thing to consider.
Yes.
TX Snowman, I know you've covered trade values and Black Book on many occasions, but can you talk about why a 21 GMC Sierra 3500 Denali would have a $10,000 range from rough to clean trade on Black Book? Is it just the age of the vehicle, or is it the lack of market data, or something else? It's an interesting question. I think it likely has to do with how recent the vehicle, like how new the vehicle is. And so if one's already in very rough condition, it's going to be worth considerably less than the inflated value of one that is probably selling for more than MSRP that it would have been.
A one that's in pristine condition today would probably go run through the sale for more than what the car listed for as a new vehicle. And that's why it can have that type of spread. And let's face it, most dealerships aren't buying at the bottom at the rough condition. You're gonna fall closer to in the middle. So it's probably more realistically a $5,000 spread from in the middle to really great condition.
We've got from Mike here, feeling sad for all those who have an unplanned vehicle purchase after Ida, given that supply was already tight. PPI more important than ever, pre-purchase inspection, especially to check for water damage. Hope all y'all on here have avoided storm damage. I'm going to like that. I'll stop sharing the screen as well. Yeah, I feel like we should probably touch on the fact that, that's devastating what's happened.
Yeah. And truth of the matter is that in a time when there's a limited amount of cars to begin with, you are going to have thousands of cars between Louisiana and up through the East Coast that were absolutely going to be totaled, and people are going to have a very, very tough time replacing them. Now, what they get from their insurance company for them will be more than what they would have ever gotten in the past, but whatever you get, if there's nothing for you to buy with it, it doesn't really matter. And so whatever shortages there were, and there are, it's only going to get exacerbated with what is going on in Louisiana, and definitely, I mean, I've seen photos of expressways in New York City and in the Philadelphia area. I mean, that are just, the water's 10, 15 feet deep. Well, there could be cars in there. There are cars that have been impacted by that, and that type of water damage will total the vehicle. And that could be bringing thousands upon thousands of customers into the market that would not normally have been in the market. And when there's shortages, that just makes it even more difficult.
Totally. It absolutely does. Yeah, it's devastating. And
but can I say one thing, because we need a bit of good news. The weather was magnificent today.
Melissa agrees. Today was pretty glorious.
Oh my God. Yes. It was just magnificent. You could tell it's September.
There are little things like that that make
Yes.
it feel nice. And yeah, it is kind of crazy. You get out of August and now all of a sudden it isn't
Yeah.
quite as hot as it had been. All right, let's keep on moving and grooving. Won't ask you to dance again quite yet, Dad.
What was that?
I
Oh,
won't
I don't
ask
have to
you
dance again? Okay, good.
unless you want to dance more. Okay, are you dancing? I can't see you.
Yeah, I'm dancing, buddy. I'm doing the yeah, buddy dance.
Well,
Yeah, buddy.
wait. I want to watch.
Yeah.
Wait. Pause.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like this is gonna live on the internet forever, and I'm gonna have kids someday. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed. And like
Yeah.
they're gonna watch the Yeah Buddy dance.
Yeah. And they're gonna go, what was wrong with your dad?
No, you know what they're gonna say? You know what they're gonna say?
What? Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Yeah. But they're definitely gonna go, was there something wrong with Grandpa?
Was the lawnmower man out today?
God, I didn't hear him, but it's still early.
God, you're great. Okay, let's keep going. All right, back to sharing our screen.
God,
it's good. You've got good shoulder mobility. Jason says.
That's about the only thing that still moves.
Jason says.
God, at this age, not as much stuff works as it.
Good evening, Ray, Zach, and Kimberly. We're going to cut it off there.
Okay,
good. Reservation on a Bronco in July. My Ford dealer has been telling me about March. They will be starting orders for these reservations. Wait, wow. You placed it in July and March of next year.
Oh.
Starting orders for these reservations with deliveries 2 to 3. Oh, wow. My vehicle situation is not in dire straits, so I don't need it tomorrow, but would like to know that if I order a vehicle that I would be available for purchase and delivery in a timely manner. I'm actually thinking of canceling my reservation and possibly buying a Jeep. Is Ford having these same problems with other trucks and SUV models, the hardtop issues? Thanks again for all. Yeah, I mean, we can pull back up Automotive News. On the homepage of Automotive News today is Ford extends chip-related downtime at F-150 plants. So I don't think there should be any expectation that you're going to be seeing a big influx in Ford supply. Let's also see if the updated supply data is here. Give me 1 second.
Oh, well, we should show the
we don't have supply data yet. Once we do.
Okay, but yeah, I was going to say we should show how much increase there's been in lost production or anticipated lost production.
Yes.
We had that the other day, which was chip shortage, lost production. And it was unbelievable.
Yeah, let me see. We're up to over 8 million.
Yes.
Where is it? Man, every single article has the word chip in it now all of a sudden because...
I wonder why.
Here you go.
Yeah.
This is from August 30th, so this is already outdated. If you remember, we're up to 8.1 million expected to be lost. If you remember...
just a week ago, it was
7.2
million.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is so the anticipation is that a total of 8.1 million vehicles that were scheduled to be built globally will not be.
Yeah.
And that like 2.5 million of those that were scheduled to be built for domestic production for the United States or for sale in the United States have been lost. Now, that's a huge percentage. If they were anticipating selling 16.5 million new cars this year, and to lose 2.5 million, well, that takes you down to 14 million. That's a big number, and we've been saying for months that we always thought the projections were light, and I think we said we thought it would be somewhere in the 8 to 9 million range. Well, it's only the 1st of September, and it's already in the 8 million range. So, it could be 10, 11 million by the time everything's all said and done.
We had someone tweeted us this today from a Ford dealership. This is this is a Bronco, a 2021 Bronco that you can see on your screen.
Yes.
$1,300 this, a $300 appearance. They put the doc fee on this. This is just the addendum sticker, to be clear. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 ancillary things you're purchasing that add an additional $30,427 onto this Bronco. So if a Bronco does make it on the lot, holy cow.
But $25,000 of that $30,427 is, well, a market adjustment, which is and I responded that, well, the sad reality is that people should resist buying these vehicles, but somebody will. Now that somebody will be thrilled that they got their hands on the car, but more than likely would never do business with that dealer again when they one day wake up and go, oh, my $90,000 Bronco is now worth $40,000.
Kimberly's son Jake put a deposit on an incoming 4Runner, and 3 people called within an hour, within hours after him, to do the same thing. Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know. Also, Jack, very on it. Integrated circuits, yes. I think chips is just easier for everyone to understand. I've gone with chips or semiconductors, but they are ICs. They are integrated circuits. We did put the article up on our website recently. I imagine most everyone here saw it, but we kind of talked about like what's going to happen next. I'll share the screen and we'll look at that, and then let's go back to, answering questions.
I'm all for it.
You know, how we ran out of cars in the U.S. And we talk a little bit in this. We use some of the community sourced photos, so thank you all. Alex, the one from Alaska, is truly remarkable.
Yeah. The only thing missing is like a grizzly bear wandering through the lot in that picture.
How bad is the chip shortage? We talk about ASML. We talk about used car demand, etc. Incentive amounts, how they've gone down. Anyway, this is a really good article. If you have friends who are thinking of buying a car and they don't need to, send them this link. That should. Here, I'm going to toss it in the chat. Okay, let's go back to answering questions.
Okay.
This is from Conrad. Good afternoon, Ray and Zach. I was going to wait until the last week of December 2021 to purchase a new vehicle. However, if the chip shortage issue is not going to get resolved until sometime in 2022, does it make sense to wait until the end of December to purchase a new vehicle? Should I just jump into the deep end and purchase a vehicle now? That's a really fair question, Dad.
Yes.
What do you think?
And quite honestly, I don't know the answer to that. And the reason I say that is, historically, there would be larger incentives at the end of the year, because they're trying to push as many sales into the calendar year 2021 as they can. And when I say they are the manufacturers and the dealerships themselves. And so the manufacturers typically offer their largest consumer incentives in December.
Yep.
But if the microchip shortage is going to continue at the rate that it is, and if we're going to continue to lose production at the rate that we seem to be, then the amount of market adjustment, I would sense, for most dealers is only going to go up.
I have a question for you there.
Yes.
Do you think we're going to end up in a situation, and I wonder if this is something that we can do as a community, actually. Can we put pressure on the OEMs to at least in some way limit the additional dealer markup? Because right now it seems, but it's so, like, there used to be, I remember an article, I think it was when like the Audi RS5 wagon, or maybe it was the RS6 Avant wagon, came out back in the United States. Like, someone had put like $25,000 additional dealer markup, and like Audi contacted them and said, hey, you can't do that. I guess I'm just wondering, like, do we have any leverage? Because this sucks.
No, there really is no leverage. And the reason there is no leverage, the manufacturer could suggest to the dealership that we don't think that's a good idea, but they can't mandate that the dealership doesn't do it. Okay. Because the manufacturer cannot sell direct to the consumer. So their way to get the car to the ultimate consumer is through the dealership. And the franchise agreements allow the dealerships to charge whatever the market will bear for vehicles. A manufacturer's suggested retail price, the MSRP, is just that. It's a suggestion. Dealers, in most times, would sell vehicles well below the manufacturer's suggested retail price, and nobody would even think of paying the MSRP. And today, because of shortages, everybody's going, God, I wish I could just buy the car for MSRP. There's no way to force the dealers not to do the markup. The only way that we can force the dealers to not add the additional dealer markup is, and Igor, don't get mad at me when I say this, but the consumers have to vote by not buying vehicles. If the customers stop coming in, if the customers stop spending the extra money to buy these cars that are short supply, then the dealers will be forced to take the additional dealer markup off the cars. That's how it changes. It has to be a consumer effort.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
But see, and then Jack's kind of hitting it here. The internet might force the dealer's hand. You can find a good dealer like I did and avoid the greedy ones. I think, and Igor says, I respect your opinion. I think that's where, I'm sorry to make this whole stream so self-serving, but I'm doing like a little soul searching tonight because the chip numbers just get worse and worse. And so I think Jack's actually hitting the nail on the head. We got to do a better job surfacing the good dealers, the ones that are on the leading edge of selling at a fair price versus the greedy. We got to figure that out.
And I don't know that I don't know that the term that we should use is greedy.
I agree.
Okay. I won't. I'll even go so far as to say I won't even throw in the term gouging. But I do think that there are any number of dealers that are utilizing what's going on to, in a sense, take advantage of the customers at this particular point in time. And it's not uncommon in a capitalistic system like ours when there's shortages. I mean, think back to a year and a half ago when everybody was hoarding toilet paper but me. And if you wanted toilet paper, as suddenly they became like worth $5 a roll. What would you pay to have something soft? And so, yes.
Yelp. That is such a great idea.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, that's so funny because it's like,
yeah, Yelp. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Even I get that. But the point is, in a capitalistic society, you almost can't blame the dealers for doing it, but maybe we can shame them into not doing it.
So let's go back to Conrad's question. We're going to continue. Thank you to everyone that's on here. Like, this is an open discussion for how we can leverage like our collective purpose to like help each other.
Yeah.
I wish there was more that like we could have done to avoid this. But back to Conrad's question, should you be waiting to the end of the year? The answer is no. Like if you're going to buy a car, go start looking at buying.
There could be more incentives at the end of the year, but the market adjustments from the dealers could be more than what those incentives are. So the price of the cars could be going up significantly from now until then, and that extra incentive won't really matter unless you just want to say you got the big incentive.
Because I shopped until I found a deal. I think that's like actually at its crux. Like that's what it is, right? Yeah. It's from Al, Ray, and Zach. Am I correct in assuming that the percentage of holdback varies only from manufacturer to manufacturer and not from model to model? Regardless, you have access to these figures, and can you publish them? That's from Aldad. So the percentage, not the amount, but
I mean, some manufacturers don't offer holdback at all. You can look on a BMW invoice or a mini invoice, and there is no holdback amount because there's no holdback. But there's monies that can be earned from BMW or Mini for having hit various objectives that the manufacturer sets, whether they be CSI related, service related, sales related, all types of different ways that they get extra money to you. But typically, holdback is a percentage of the base MSRP of a vehicle. And in most cases, it's somewhere from 1% to maybe upwards of 3 to 3.5%. Most manufacturers are probably closer to 2%.
But does it change from model to model?
No, not typically.
Okay. And then do we have that data? No. The best thing we can do is the crowdsourced invoices, which
and then we can take a look at the invoices and we can extrapolate from invoices, what the holdback percentage is.
What you got from Igor? My problem, Ray, is that consumers are at fault here. They are not slowing down in the purchasing rush. I feel like it's the end of the world, and they are buying like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem. That's why I say consumers have to vote with their pocketbook, and they have to keep their money in their pocket, and they have to stop agreeing to buy cars. If they slow down, there's still too many people that are buying want, not need, and as long as there's the vast majority are buying want, not need, then.
So Catboy says the market can't speak up, Ray. There's always a need for new cars. It's one of those inelastic things like groceries. What are the alternatives? People can't hold off for more than a short time.
I don't disagree with that, other than to say that of the God knows how many millions of cars that were sold in the month of August, how many of those were people who absolutely positively needed to have a car, as opposed to how many people wanted to get that new car. If for instance, that Bronco addendum label that we looked at that had $25,000 of market adjustment, if somebody agrees to pay that, it's not because they needed that damn Bronco. It's only because they decided they wanted to have that Bronco.
I get it. I'm back to being selfish. It's like, what can we do?
We could start a fund. I don't know. What I know, one of the things we are unable to change the buying habits of most Americans. That's part of we're not going to change it. I can sit here and I can say, gee, stop. That's not going to stop anybody.
I don't know. Maybe you just need a bigger platform. Like, maybe I got to figure out a way to get you on, like, I don't know, name a platform. Like, is Ellen on TV? I don't think Ellen's on TV. I need you on, like,
Good Morning America.
Good morning. Thank you. I was completely blank.
Yeah. Get me on the Howard Stern show. But see, he'll just want to ask. Well, he'll want to ask questions about what kind of drugs did car.
No. I'm thinking. Remember the gentleman who had the rent is too damn high party in New York City? Do you remember him? Like, we need a champion. We need you to be like, stop buying cars. Maybe, I don't know. Okay. Anyway, yeah. CNN.
You know what we need? We need a website. And with a new name, it should be stopbuyingcars.com.
Don't anyone buy that. We're gonna do this as a team here. Hang tight, share screen. Please, no one jump on that and buy it right now. All right. Don't buy a car.
Stopbuyingcars.com. Stop
buying cars. It's available.
Yes.
No one buy this. I am buying it. It is $15.50. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Any entrepreneurial YAA members have now purchased that in advance of me purchasing that. Yeah, I mean, that's really, I guess, what it comes down to. It's like we need to kind of come up with some sort of movement to convince people to
stop buying cars.
All right. Can you vamp for a second?
And here's the sad reality. I mean, I will tell you that dealerships are highly attuned to buying patterns and what people will or won't spend money on. And when dealerships would see certain vehicles and inventory building up, dealerships will do something about that. If the manufacturer doesn't put an incentive on it, well, the dealer himself will put an incentive on it for his salespeople to sell it. And so dealerships are always cognizant of what consumer confidence is and what the tendencies for consumers are. So if consumers would vote with their pocketbook and just stop buying for a little bit, it would have an impact. It would bring some of these numbers down. And that's not to say that dealers really can't get fat and happy off of selling cars at MSRP because they can. Because a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, when the average new car front end gross profit was $200 over invoice cost, where today, if you sell it at MSRP, it might be $2,000. Yeah, they're getting fat and happy on that, and they don't need to add the extra $5,000. They go, well, what if we cut that in half for you? Well, I got a great idea. Cut it off altogether.
Keep going because I forgot my username and login for the place.
Oh, okay. Well,
the domain names.
I can't just rant forever.
You are quite good at dancing.
Well, I don't want to dance anymore. I mean, my God, people are sick of seeing me dance.
All right, I will.
Come to think of it, people are probably just sick of it.
We could be getting there. I don't think we've milked it too much. Okay, I'm resetting the password. Change password.
Yeah.
That's done. All right. So
okay.
I just need to log in.
Yeah, and then buy the damn thing.
I'm trying, man.
Before somebody else buys it, and we have to pay a market adjustment.
A market adjustment. I'm signed in. Oh my gosh, they sent me a verification code.
Yeah. Oh my God.
This is.
But anyway, that's dealers will respond to customers not buying.
Yeah, I mean, and we're actually starting to see that, right? I mean, if sales are down 17%, it's probably going to continue in that direction, right? I mean, we can't.
Well, there's any number of reasons why it can continue in that direction. If there's less and less cars being built.
Yeah, that'll also play the.
I mean, Subaru was off last month considerably, but when you consider the fact that they started the month with a 6-day supply of cars on the ground nationally, well, you can understand how there was no way for them to hit what their anticipated projection would have been back in January for August.
Yeah, I'm just waiting, just like so intrigued to see what's going to happen at the end of this month when we have the latest data. Also,
yes.
So we have the domain name it went through. Okay.
Now I do want to say one other thing. There was a comment on one of our YouTube videos where the gentleman said, well, maybe if he said, I don't need a smart lawnmower. Okay. Yeah, it might. Which is why we bought the damn thing. So, but you don't need a smart lawnmower, and you don't need a refrigerator that says, "Hi Ray, how are you? Would you like some cold water?" I mean, there are certain things that these microchips go into that somehow you don't need them.
Yep.
So that's just me.
All right, back to going through the questions. That was quite a fun little diversion.
Yes.
Thank you for allowing me. Okay.
Well, anytime you want to spend $15.50, you go right ahead.
I went to the other website because it was more expensive on that other website, so I went to my tried and tested. Jeremy says, just curious, if a customer purchases a car and pays cash for it and the check bounces, what is the dealership's recourse?
Well, what do you mean? What is the dealership's? What do you mean? What is the dealership's recourse? It's fraud to pass a bad check. Okay, there's lots of recourse. One of the recourses they can go repossess the car because you didn't pay for it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
This is from Tamikia.
But they will. When checks bounce, dealerships will give you the opportunity to bring them a cashier's check to replace it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I need a car in between two trucks, Kia Seltos and the Kia Sorento. Is the Sorento a truck?
Yeah, it's a little SUV.
Is it their little SUV?
Yeah.
It is their little SUV.
Yeah. It's not that little. It's bigger than the Sportage.
Sportage.
That too, yeah.
I'll just double check that. I think it's Sportage. How do you pronounce?
Sportage.
I think I prefer the French version.
Yes, me too.
I need a car in between two trucks. Should I factory order? I was pre-qualified through Capital One. What's my next step? Kia doesn't do a factory order system, as we're aware.
Yeah, I mean, you can hope that they get the vehicle you're looking for allocated. So you can do that. You can see the next one they have allocated that might be in transit.
Yeah. And your best bet with like a Kia and a Toyota, because they don't do orders, it's like you're saying, in transit. And then just like we've recommended in the past, trying to get the buyer's order, trying to make sure that, hey, the vehicle's in transit, no need to add any accessories or things like that I'm not interested in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Keep moving. Share screen. From Dave, the cheapskate, excuse me. Greetings, O noble masters of the car negotiating game. I wish we had something right now, Dave.
Yeah.
I had a chance to speak with Kimberly a few weeks ago about an extended warranty on a hail damaged vehicle. Clear title saving $3,500, matching hood from junkyard $300, matching trunk lid $250. Kimberly also explained how to get out of a current overpriced dealer extended warranty with a video recommendation. The refund from my current warranty will almost cover the new vehicle and my current vehicle through YAA. That's awesome. Kimberly needs every stamp of approval. My wife and I gave her our stamp of approval on the phone. I mentioned we live in Utah and how during the winter we can go skiing an hour away or hiking the Red Rock is 2 hours away. Anyway, Kimberly mentioned Utah reminded her of one of her hidden pleasures. I will let her elaborate. Peace and prosperity to all of YAA. Regards. That's going to get a quick.
Thank you.
Bear with me. We're going to grab it. Stamp of approval.
Oh, you'll have to teach me how to do this.
It's really not that complex. It's just dragging a file.
Well, do I have access to the file?
No. So I guess that's...
Oh, okay. So then it makes it more difficult for me.
That's kind of the breaking point, I guess. But yes, let's Kimberly's going to earn herself a nice...
Yes. God bless you, Kimberly. And may I say this, our drive through Utah, that was some of the prettiest country I have ever seen. I was so impressed with the state of Utah. The natural beauty of what we saw driving through Utah was just breathtaking.
Let me see.
Oh, and do you remember that Audi dealer when we were driving through Colorado and I told you back during the Great Recession that I applied for a job at an Audi dealership in Western Colorado?
Yeah.
Well, that was just sold to, I forget which group it was, but it was just bought.
Really?
Yes.
By one of the big publics?
One of the publics. It's not, I don't know which one. I forget which one it was, but it was just sold in Glenwood Springs.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I think we're going to see more and more of is like consolidation of the dealerships to like, to different groups.
Yes. Yeah. There is a tremendous amount of consolidation going on, and for any number of reasons. Housewives of Salt Lake. Okay. Wow.
The more you know.
I'm not going there. I'm not touching that.
All right, let's keep moving, Pops.
Okay.
All right, this is from Bart. Thanks for your service, Bart. Hi, Ray and Zach. Last week, you gave me some sound advice to consider regarding the lease end buyout of my 2019 Volvo S60 R Design.
Mm-hmm.
Given the current market situation, I'm planning on doing just that. My only concern is I keep hearing experts say not to buy these high-tech laden luxury vehicles because owners may face very expensive repair costs after the vehicles are out of warranty. Am I at risk of having to absorb these repairs? My S60 has 21,500 miles on it, runs great. We won't be putting a ton of miles at any time soon because we're retired and have multiple vehicles. Thank you for your advice. Bart, I think Bart is teeing us up, Dad, to pitch.
You can pitch the warranty, and I believe that the Volvo comes with a 4-year, 50,000-mile warranty, whichever comes first. Which in his case is going to be time, not miles. Listen, any vehicle can have a costly repair after the factory warranty ends. But if you maintain the vehicle, the likelihood of that happening is reduced dramatically. Now, you've put the 21,500 miles on that Volvo. You know how it's been driven. You know how it's been maintained. So that should give you a pretty good idea as to what the future may hold. But there is no way to be able to accurately predict the future, which is why a vehicle service contract or extended warranty might be something you would want to consider. Wouldn't you think so, Zach?
I mean, you are so bad at that.
I thought I set you up pretty good.
When was the last time you said, "What did you think so, Zach?"
Never.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, all right, anyway. Yeah, Bart, get a quote from us, chat with Kimberly, and that might be like a nice safety net for you,
Yes,
for some peace of mind.
and the good news is that whatever quote you get from us, it only includes a $500 profit. So you're not tremendously overpaying.
Did I tell you we were going to add some additional dealer
We were going to do a market adjustment on those.
do a market adjustment because there's a shortage of cars, doesn't mean there's a shortage of extended warranties, but
There could be, and
there could be.
yeah.
We're not
So
doing that.
no, we're not doing that.
Okay, let's keep moving through. Also, if everyone's okay with it, at the top of the hour, we're going to be on for a while, Pops. There's a lot of questions, and I keep seeing on my phone and on my watch, I keep getting more notifications of like more comments. So we're going to be on for a little while. You got dinner plans?
No.
You want to dance?
No.
You want me to dance?
Huh?
Do you want me to dance?
Sure. Let's see you dance. I mean, people paid big money for that.
Oh, I think I hit the wrong button. Okay, let's go back to sharing the screen. Which is funny because I intentionally took myself off, but still did.
Yeah,
I don't know why I did that. Why did I?
I know why you did that.
I can't dance.
Yeah. I know you like to dance.
I love to dance. James, gentlemen, I pulled the trigger and I put a $1,000 deposit on a new 2022 Kia Telluride SX all-wheel drive, loaded with the Prestige, Nightfall, and towing packages. Wow. Kia accepted my order last Friday, August 27th, and I hope to not have to wait more than 2 to 3 months to get it. Had to order it from a dealer in Columbia, Missouri, as my local Florida dealers add various items to their vehicles and want $3,500 for the accessories, and then an additional $5,000 to $15,000 markup. I was able to secure my vehicle for pure MSRP plus the dock fee of $200.
Wow.
Just needed to find a good and reasonably priced shipping company to get my new Telluride to Northeast Florida, we'll round down 1,000 miles from the dealership. I feel like a little boy waiting for Christmas. If anyone knows a decent shipping company, please do share. I've gotten 2 quotes so far this week, one for $1,100 and another for $1,400, both open air carriers. Thanks again for all the help. Congrats, James.
Well, if it were me, was that Columbia, Missouri?
That was Columbia, Missouri.
Isn't that the home of the University of Missouri? I believe.
Name a fun fact. Name a fun sports related fact to the University of Missouri. I know you got one in your head.
No, but I do believe Marcus Golden of the Arizona Cardinals played for the University of Missouri, but I could be wrong. But my point is, it might be worth just flying in and driving home.
Yeah,
but of course, 3 months from now it would be December, and you could be hitting a little bit of snow.
Roadrunner Auto Transport. I've actually, like, back when we did the broker business, what was that? Almost like a year and a half ago now. I had an experience with them. Pretty good. They're essentially a broker for shipping quotes as well. So I would recommend taking a peek.
Yeah.
Roadrunner Auto Transport.
And chances are you're going to do an open carrier, not a closed carrier. 95% of all cars that are driven to the dealership on carriers are driven on open carriers.
Statistics. Sean says, I asked a local dealer for a car that they got allocated, but still several months away. No deal has been discussed. They want to wait until they have a VIN and window sticker with the MSRP. I was told they will get these things long before the car arrives. Then we can discuss OCD pricing and hopefully make the deal before it arrives. I think that's reasonable, right?
Yeah, well, they will get it before it arrives. They know what the MSRP should be based on what the like vehicle would be today. Now, that's not to say that there couldn't be a price increase between now and then, but you don't need to have a VIN number in order to work out the price. That's just an excuse on the dealer not to want to give you that information now.
Car Dad wants to know, can't the Kia dealer do a courtesy delivery to a local Florida dealer for a fee?
They could. They would have to have the car diverted to that dealer in Florida. I can tell you in my 43-year career that maybe if I was involved in 10 courtesy deliveries in my lifetime, it was a lot.
We've got from Anaphylaxis, how do I arrange for the PPI with the dealer? I think I tossed it in the chat. We have a guide to the pre-purchase inspection.
Yes.
But like you've said in the past, most dealers and private parties, anyone should be open to allowing you to get a pre-purchase inspection done.
And if the dealer won't allow you or the private party won't allow you to get a PPI, then you're not buying that car.
Exactly. And just to be clear, like that could mean having someone come on site, anaphylaxis. That could mean like having them drive it somewhere else.
Yes.
PPIs are pretty
I know we never had any difficulty at all when a customer wanted us to take a car to their local mechanic, as long as he was within 15, 20 minutes from where our location was. So I would send 2 lot attendants down there, one to drop it off and one to pick them up and bring them back.
And things might be a little different nowadays, but they should still let you do a pre-purchase inspection.
I here, let me make this easy for the dealers out there. It's still a customer service oriented business, even if you're charging additional markups. Okay, you still have to take care of the customer. Jenny's in the house.
Thanks for being here, Jenny. Hi.
Yeah. So does RN stand for retired nurse?
Yeah, it was good. HH Debo, hello Zach and Ray. In general, how much car can someone afford in percentage of annual income? You have a whole like concept around that. Dad, do you want to speak to it real quick?
Yeah, put link that into the 10% rule.
Yep, 10% rule. Give me a second.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We'll give you all the time you need.
What did we call that article? How much can I afford?
Something like that. How much car can you afford? And we came up with the 10% rule.
Well, you came up with the 10% rule.
Okay. You just.
Okay, let me try one more. 10%.
It was one of our more popular.
Earlier.
Huh?
How much did I spend on a car? Here we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was one of our more popular videos.
Well, I'm linking back to the guide. Okay. Whew. How you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling all right for an old guy.
You look good. A. Colangelo. If leasing, what range of numbers or percentage would be a great money factor both now and normal times? Is the money factor for a lease based on your credit score? The second one is yes. Well, the money factor is essentially the interest rate piece, so it'll range based on your credit worthiness, correct?
Yes.
And then, yeah.
It depends. I mean, there can be incentivized programs where it could be like 0.0023 or 0.0023. And, a standard rule of thumb is about 0.00120, something like that.
Yep. Multiplied by 2,400.
It gives you your approximate percentage rate.
Michael says won't be able to make the live tonight, but just wanted to say that Zach's recent article about why the marketplace conditions are what they are is an awesome read. Thank you for that, Michael. Everyone who makes it to the live should definitely check it out. Really appreciate you saying that. Agree. Thank you, Melissa.
Yes, you did a nice job on that article.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I was expressing to you, I feel like you and I could like run the research center of a hedge fund at this point.
Yeah, we could do white papers.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Our predictions are always off, but we could. Hey, Mike Dean's in the house. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Michael.
I don't know if he goes by Michael.
Well, he does now. Yeah, buddy. Sorry, Mike.
It's like he is in trouble or something. Michael. Yeah. Okay. This is from Mag D. A generous thank you to Kimberly and Space for their individual but similar feedback with my lease inquiries. I move forward with signing the lease documents based on your expert advice. Thanks again. Maggie, love to hear it.
Yes, that's very, very nice. Very, very nice to Kimberly. Very nice to Space. 2 of the hardest working, along with Justice, 3 of the hardest working people in the car business, ladies and gentlemen.
We've got Nick here. I see a couple of PPI, pre-purchase inspection questions, comments. With local mechanics busier keeping existing cars going because of the new car shortage, I wonder if it's still possible to get a PPI in a reasonable amount of time. I don't think I have no insights on that. Do you have any ideas if that's an issue?
I do not. I do know I've read some comments where some local mechanics are just so overwhelmed. And then some of them are overwhelmed with vehicles and they can't get the parts that they need for the vehicles because of a certain chip shortage or something.
So we've got Melissa mentioning to Igor that she'll send her daughter for her purchase to Igor. And this is, if you didn't know, Igor is a partner, I guess, or runs 10 or so dealerships in, I guess, Melissa's area in Massachusetts.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, what we can do is, if there are people out there who are treating people fairly, we got to surface them. So I think I saw Yelp, the YAALP for the Yelp, like
Yeah.
the reviews or the ratings. I think that's something that we got to crack that code. We got to figure out what those reviews are, what those
Yes.
rating systems are, because it's going to be now around. Like, this is going to be the reality for like the next. I think at least the next year, at least, if not
Yeah,
more.
probably. And yeah, we need to find more people like Igor. We need to find those dealers who think along the same lines that Igor thinks, so that
Yep.
we can put that list together so people know the right places to reward as opposed to the wrong places.
And then we got to hold like everyone accountable, right? Like, if we're
Yes.
going to have these ratings, and if we've got like a particular dealership, like if a YA member comes in, like the price can't change, right? Like, if I'm a YA member and I show up and I've seen like these reviews and these ratings, like, and we've agreed to a price over email or over the phone or something, like, we got to make sure that people are getting treated fairly. So that's something we got to think about. But like, that
Yeah.
would be valuable. That would be useful if we're able to actually make that happen.
Yes. And if I may, if the dealers are willing, if we can find dealers that are willing to do that for YAA members, well, that should just be the way they do business, period.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you're telling me, but I don't think we're going to be able to get everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Jenny can tell us a dealership to avoid in Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
That's what we need. We need like dealerships that get the stamp of approval, and like dealerships that get the stamp of disapproval.
Yes. No, absolutely. And that's why we should post that stuff in the forum.
Yeah. Okay. Let's answer another question here. Then I'm going to open this up so that broader audience can join us. We're going to continue to go through the members only questions, but let's just open it up. We've had some really, I think, pretty insightful discussions tonight, and I think it's fair that everyone gets a chance to hear that. Kirk, thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you.
I'm told that brokers often go to the dealership's fleet sales representatives to purchase cars. Is it possible for individual buyers to contact fleet sales for purchases? If so, would one expect to get a slightly better deal? What are your experiences with fleet sales?
I can honestly tell you, in all the years I was in the business, I never worked in a store where we had a fleet department. I was at Nissan stores, Mini stores, Acura stores. When I first went to Acura, and I said, "Oh my God!" So wouldn't it be great if I explored ways to, I don't know, sell some fleets to like Enterprise and things like that? And the first words out of my rep's mouth were, "Absolutely not. We don't want Acuras in anybody's rental fleet." Okay, so I've never worked in a dealership that had a fleet department. But I'm pretty sure that a fleet of one doesn't count as a fleet.
Kimberly says, I worked with the fleet department. It was one guy. So I guess.
Yeah, but what we need to ask Kimberly is, not just anybody could go to see the one guy that was the fleet manager and get a fleet deal, unless a fleet deal was no different than any other deal.
If
I
a
would
fleet
think.
deal is a fleet,
Yeah.
fleet deal, just thinking that could be like Sally goes to the sea. Sally.
Yeah, there's something about Sally and the seashore, and she's picking up seashells down by the seashore.
Mike wants to know how the new office is. Maybe after tonight's stream or at the end of the stream, I can do like a quick little tour of our space. Also, again,
Well, how is the new office?
It's good. We've been interviewing people, which has been fun. So just trying to find the right people to join the team. So it's cool. It's cool to have them come into a space and like have it be our space. It's pretty cool.
Have you done anything to personalize that space?
I haven't showered recently, so it's starting to kind of smell like me. So I think that's.
There's some wild animals out there that might find that appealing.
Kimberly says, nope, it was just fleet only, just the fleet. See,
Yeah,
there's something about this word that's getting me fleet feet on the street.
Yeah, so it couldn't be just a fleet of one.
No.
It could not. And I will tell you, at the mini dealership, we sold a fleet of
to like mini maids,
countrymen to Merry Maids.
Merry Maids, not.
Not Merry Maids,
my fault.
Yeah, Merry Maids. And but to do that, we just cut them a really special deal because they bought, I think it was 10 or 11.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Jenny,
The
thank
owner wasn't thrilled with me, but I didn't really care.
you.
But
Yeah, because
as I always like to say, my pay plan's not based on not selling them.
all right, let's go back to sharing the screen here. All righty. This is from Ken. Hi, Ray. Am I right or wrong? Will the major OEMs get back to trying to grow market share? I'm betting not very fast. Seems like quarterly profits are king right now, but how long can that last if they don't have cars to sell? Once this chip shortage resolves, the real winners to me will be the OEMs that don't use the order only or high markup sales models, but instead gear up to get those new car lots filled as fast as possible and move the iron any competitive way they can. What do you think?
Well, I know you and I had this conversation earlier today,
We
and
chatted over the phone. Yeah.
yeah, and I really believe that once the supply chain issues get sorted out and resolved, um, that the manufacturers will go back to their old ways of just producing as many cars as they can and jamming as many cars down the throats of the dealer body as they can, and incentivizing the cars to sell them. And as I said to you earlier today, if the manufacturers don't do that, then how are they going to compensate the YAA? How are they going to compensate the dealers for all that unused um, real estate that's sitting without cars on it at the dealership's lots?
And you and I don't see eye to eye on this one
We
because
do not.
I think this is my expectation. I wrote about it in essentially the white paper is
Yeah,
that over the next 18, 24 months, there will be what I thought was going to take 15 to 20 years to happen is happening right now, where we're moving to like a price is the price environment plus markup. And I think there's going to be this new realization that we can have a totally different cost structure at the dealership. And that the OEMs are going to figure out ways to make a lot of money from this new environment, and that the dealerships are going to find ways to make a lot of money in this new environment, and that there's going to be very limited. People are inherently change adverse, right? Like change doesn't necessarily feel good.
yeah,
That's why we've been stuck with this really not so great car buying process for as long as we have. And I think that probably by year like 2 to 3 of this being the new normal, why would we go back? Like the reality is Ken's right. Like quarterly earnings rules everything, and they're going to find ways to make their quarterly earnings look really nice.
yeah. But Ford had that big first quarter, right? And they made what was 1.2 billion,
Yeah.
but they didn't expect the next quarter to be anywhere near that.
No,
And
but what
and,
I'm
there, and there's a reason, because they're not able to produce the requisite number of cars.
because they're
They,
currently structured for the old model, and I think my expectation is that we're going to see this rapid evolution to being structured for the new model being less
I
dealer inventory.
I understand where you're coming from, and I respectfully disagree,
Yeah.
and you respectfully disagree with me, which is fine. I just think there's too many impediments to doing that, and part of it is um, plants that they've invested billions of dollars in, that they make their money back by producing the cars.
It's not that
Uh,
you're not going to produce the cars, Dad. I think I just want to be clear. Like, there's still going to be 17 million cars sold each year, or whatever, new cars sold, and there's still going to be 50 to 60 million used cars sold. My expectation is that this wind of change that we've seen from like the Teslas of the world, where it's like, wait, I just go and buy this car. Like, I think we're going to see more of that as a result of this, where there's going to be pushback or kind of like consternation. Is like, how egregious can we be on the markup of like a vehicle that has like a set price? Like, I don't know. I think we're moving, and outside the United States and Canada, you also don't really have this model, right? Like in Europe, you've always talked about it's more of an order model. So
yes,
like I think we're just kind of behind the times, and we've been behind the times in part because like regulatory things, which the dealerships and the OEMs have done a great job building all these regulatory walls for why the current structure is the way it is. But like they're going to figure out ways to make even more money with less inventory. And again, another thing, Dad, inventory is a cost center. Like no one makes money. Think about it. Part of the reason we're in this supply crunch is because of just-in-time manufacturing. The idea that we don't want to have any inventory at the plants that you're talking about. So it's like the less inventory there is, the more made to order. Like I feel like it's a win for everyone except for potentially the consumer.
oh, okay. Well, I like that you think that they'll still be able to sell 17 million new cars. But I don't think they can if they don't have if they don't produce more vehicles than they're currently producing, and if they don't have more vehicles on dealers' lots for people to choose from. I just I just don't. That's just me, and maybe because I spent 43 years in the retail sector, it's hard for me to accept that. But maybe you're right and I'm wrong, or maybe I'm right and you're wrong, or maybe we'll meet somewhere in the middle. But I just there's money to be made for the manufacturers for every car they produce.
No, it's a really interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll definitely see. Okay, this is from Susan. She's got 3. Question: I'm closing a deal on a new Toyota RAV4 hybrid, supposedly arriving in mid-September. I'm shopping for a loan rate. Mike Dean, credit union advocate. When is the best
Yes.
time to try to negotiate the rate with the F&I person? By the way, the dealer is charging MSRP. I consider this a win in today's market. Stamp of approval. Big time on a RAV4 hybrid. Jim Coleman in Bethesda.
Oh, okay.
Wait, that's right up the street from me right now.
Yes.
I'm in Bethesda. So
Yeah.
when do you negotiate the F&I with F&I on the loan rate? Do you do that in advance of the vehicle actually being?
You could see if you could check the Toyota website, not Jim Coleman Toyota's website, but the Toyota, the manufacturer's website, to see if there's any incentivized interest rates that are available. And so, but yeah, you can start if the vehicle is going to come in a week or so. Yeah, you can start that conversation now. You can get the loan approved now. You could submit all the documentation for loan approvals now, because loan approvals are good for 30 days. So yeah, you could have that conversation now, so that there's no surprises when you come in to pick up the vehicle.
Exactly. Also,
Yeah.
creative A. I agree
Yeah.
with Jack. I'm just saying, Pops. Age of Aquarius is here.
Yeah.
Change in education, business, government, humanity, all part of this shift. Why not the automobile industry? I agree.
Yeah. Why not? Well, I don't know. I just don't see it happening, but that's just me. That's just me.
All right, let's keep going here. This is from Paula. My lease on a 2018 Mazda CX-5 just expired. I have a 10-day no-cost extension to decide what I want to do. My options are, extend the old lease by 36
Yes.
months, enter a new lease, buy a new vehicle, buy out the current vehicle. I'm attaching their proposal. She's got her address on there, so unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to pull that up.
Okay.
But we recommend in this situation, if you have an existing lease that is coming to the end of its term, either buy it out at its preset residual value or do a lease extension.
Okay. The one thing, if you're looking to either buy another Mazda or lease another Mazda, don't just turn it in as a lease and lease return. Trade it into them. So that would be the way I would do it if I didn't buy it.
Yep. And we just posted, I think you wrote this one, it was 2 weeks ago now. I'll share my screen again and we'll keep going through the questions. You can sell I wrote this one. You can sell your leased car for a profit. Here's much. I forget which ones I ghostwrite for you and then you edit. And
most of them.
Right. Yeah.
I'll be honest. I mean, I write some.
You're a good guy. Chris Fulton says 2021 Honda CR-V hybrid touring all-wheel drive with 5 miles on the odometer, sales price under $35,000. Thanks to Yaz. Content, advice, and a botch deal for the dealership, making an original deal for the EXL they did not have on their lot like they promised. Would love to share details with you if you would like. Ranzak, you provide so much value with the rest of the YAA team. The naysayers don't know what they're talking about. Thank you. That's awesome to hear, Chris.
Well, yes, thank you, Chris.
We can pull up a stamp of approval here after we address Christian's question, which is, howdy, gents. I've been contacting various dealerships with your email templates. The biggest challenge I've been running into is that the sales reps don't want to provide an OTD price quote via email and say that I would need to come into the dealership to get the quote-unquote best price. Yes. It's not a close drive to these dealerships, and I don't want to come in unless I get a good price. How do you recommend navigating this challenge? Seems like other folks are experiencing this also. Thanks for all your help. What are your thoughts on that, Dad? So again, OTD requests not being replied back to with that.
The way I would handle it is I would remind people that we're still in the midst of a pandemic, and that you're just not comfortable going into a closed environment like a dealership. I understand why you would want me to come there. I understand that you think there's a greater likelihood that I'll actually leave with a car if I come in there. But I can assure you that if you don't provide me with the information that I'm looking for, that there is no opportunity to sell me a car. So,
And I would also say phone. Getting on the
yeah,
phone might carry a
yeah,
little more weight and show that you're
yeah,
serious as well.
yeah. And move your way up the food chain. And, a sales manager is still going to try and talk you into coming in. But a smart sales manager is going to say, let me just take the shot and give you the information and not be afraid. Yeah, I mean, what dealers, if I may, what dealers need to do when they're afraid to be able to provide a customer with the information that they request is they're afraid that that customer is going to then take that information to another dealership and maybe beat it by $100 or $200. My suggestion to any dealership would be the first one to provide them with the information that they asked for, and then also give them reasons as to why they would want to do business with you, as opposed to why they should choose to do business with someone else. If you have to struggle to get the information from a dealer, is that the dealership that you really want to do business with? So,
And we're back to our naughty, nice. We got a long game, short game thing that we were talking about earlier. We got to figure the dealer ratings out. Sean with a thoughtful donation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sean.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Dad, it's a super sticker. I can't see it on my screen, but I think it's one of the dancing ones. At which point I am.
Yeah, $5. $5. Yeah, buddy. Oh, God.
Go Shefska! Down go Shefska!
Oh, my God. For whatever reason, and I don't know why, but people enjoyed working with me.
Did they enjoy working with you, or the checks cleared when payroll ran?
Well, the checks cleared, but for the most part, they enjoyed working with me. I made it a fun environment in which to work.
I think about that now that we have YAA.
An environment.
Well, now that we have YAA, and I'm your son, right? Like, I do a lot of really weird things that are I think funny, but now that we're starting to have a staff and a team, I also wonder, are they laughing because it's funny? Or Kimberly, please address this in the chat. Do you laugh at my jokes because they're funny, or is it because,
or you're just laughing at you?
Because you get paid now? What's which one? Or Dad, for you now that you're on payroll? Is it anyway?
For whatever reason, lots of people enjoyed work. I really did.
You're a good guy.
Yeah. No, well, I just figured if we were going to spend 8, 10, 12 hours a day in that environment, at the very least, we needed to make it. If it wasn't enjoyable for us, how was it ever possibly going to be enjoyable for the customers?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there are a couple more comments back on the members only chat, and so we'll address that in just a second. If you're joining us because we set the stream to public, one of the things that we've been talking about, Kimberly, you are funny. This is not a sympathetic laugh. One of the things we were talking about earlier is how YAA can help. We're talking about dealer reviews, dealer ratings, trying to find those that kind of abide by a YAA code of ethics, not adding crazy markups and things like that. So we're thinking of ways that we can help. If you think that's a good idea, kind of reinforce it in the chat, and we'll continue to work on it. Also, we've got Henry saying, "Hey Zach, what if the public just went on strike to stop any purchases of new vehicles to force dealers to keep new inventory longer?" Since this is Henry. You must be joining us. That's my dad's stump speech. Earlier on tonight's stream, we actually bought the domain name
StopBuyingCars.com.
because my dad said it and it was funny as hell, and then I went live and bought the domain name. So we're trying, Henry. We're definitely trying. Pops, we got a really thoughtful donation here from Joseph. Thank you for that. With such limited inventory, why are the manufacturers still running national lease campaigns? For example, Subaru has been running national ads and the local dealers have no inventory. I'm so glad this question came up. Is it just because they planned it out so far in advance? What's going on?
Typically, and for the some dealers that can I share, and Igor could probably back me up on this. I'm going to share a little something with you about manufacturers' advertised lease specials. the $199 advertised lease, or get back the split screen, the $290, whatever the payment is. It is typically on a base model car that none of the dealers have. Okay, and and is based on a certain amount of dealer discount, and especially when they go, and with only $39.99 down. Okay, well, that $3,999 down does not include tax, title, registration, and any other dealer fees. And as the salespeople, as the dealer, you would have to sit down with your customer who would come in and go, I want this $199 a month lease. And you'd have to explain to them, well, guess what? I don't know how to get there from here because we don't get those cars. Nobody orders those cars. The manufacturer doesn't build those cars. And they put together this special program to attract your attention, and it worked. And now you hate me because I have to tell you why you can't get it. And nothing frustrates a dealer. I'm telling the truth now, aren't I, Igor? Nothing frustrates a dealer more than having to try and explain to a customer why you can't get that damn lease special. It just, the vehicles don't exist.
I'm laughing like a little kid right now because
it's
so broken.
Annoying. You have no idea how annoying it is. And so then, and what I would do is I would actually bring them into my office. We would read line for line in the disclaimer as to what the dealer would have to sell it for, and we build it exactly as they say.
So pops.
And then I'd show them exactly how much money it really took to get to that payment. And it was like, oh, I don't want to do that.
Doug wants to know, can we put a heart rate monitor on you? I don't know if you watched any of the more recent.
Well, this is how I get my aerobic exercise.
There's this company called Whoop, and I don't know if you saw, but like now, if you watch golf, like they show on TV, like what.
Yes.
We got to get you one of those. We got to get.
Yeah. Well, actually, my heart rate probably goes down when I do those things. When I go on a rant.
Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny.
We appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of this from the early days. So the reason I was laughing so much there, Dad, is because A, that's lunacy and it's ridiculous. And B, think about our conversation 20 minutes ago about what's going to happen in this post-chip shortage world. And you're telling me we're going to go back to that BS?
Yes. Yeah, because the manufacturers, here's the problem, okay? The manufacturer builds the car, and they build the interest in the car. They're the ones that have to create the interest in the car, which is why they spend so damn much money advertising the car. Once they've created the interest in the car, it is the local dealer's job to advertise to the customer. Now that you're excited about this car, well, you need to come to XYZ Motors and buy the car from us. Okay? So all the manufacturer wants to do is create the excitement and give somebody a reason to show up, okay? Because they just want to drive people to the dealership, and they're going to drive people to the dealership with the $179 a month lease on the Jetta that doesn't exist, okay?
So 2 comments. One is Igor says $48.99 a week. My partner put on a 2021. They never disclosed.
Okay, God. Yes, exactly.
There's not a big enough bowl to make that much poop.
and it's just, nothing frustrates the dealer and the sales managers and the salespeople more than having to explain how the $199 a month lease isn't $199 a month and why.
But and the point I want to make is simply this: there are a lot of brand loyalty reports that come out, and we've seen, for example, Ford. Their brand loyalty is in the toilet.
Yes.
And you know what? A lot of companies need to think about their retention, how they keep people tied to their brand. What you just described doesn't help people stick with the brand. So that's another reason I come from. Let's hit on this though, Pops.
But I agree with you. No, that doesn't breed brand loyalty. It typically it breeds brand resentment when the customer comes in,
And that's why I think we'll see change.
but so when the customer comes in and it's a Jetta for $179 a month, and it's a Jetta with an MSRP of $15,495, and well, I don't know, the last time they built a Jetta with an MSRP of $15,495 was maybe in 1989 or something like that. I mean, it's just they nobody orders that car, and the manufacturer doesn't build that car because there's no margins in that car. It's just a terrible way of doing business.
We've still got a couple things back on the community we need to answer, but I want to touch on this. Spiritual Sniper says, I sell chips for a living, seen a 20-cent chip sell for $30 each. Interesting. Catboy wants to know, how is that even legal? There are all sorts of rules. The FTC put out, it was one of the first things when I got into this space. I forget what it's called. The FTC puts out all sorts of warnings all the time, but there are different ways, different disclaimers for how you can get around.
I mean, literally they make some of those cars. Okay, literally every now and then a dealer might actually have a car that fits into those parameters. The idea is to get somebody in and then give them the lease payment on the car that they really like, that has the equipment level that they really wanted. And it's just going to be more than the $199. And yeah, I mean, it's not the manufacturer that has to sit there and take the crap from the customer. It's the salespeople.
That's where I'm like you. I'm like,
yeah.
That's where I think you're wrong. Because at the end of the day, if you lose the brand loyalty to VW, then you're going to have less VWs that are even just being wholesaled to the dealership. So everyone eventually, you got to all align on customer experience. It has to be a happy customer experience.
I don't disagree with that, but my point is that the CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, is not sitting in a dealership getting beat up by the customer because the dealership doesn't have that $199 a month Mustang.
Well, this is why I think you're never going to see the franchise dealer setup go away. Ford doesn't want to be like Tesla. Genesis doesn't want to be like Tesla. No one wants to be like Tesla because they've got this model set up where you can take the crap. I mean, why would they want to deal with the customer relations? They don't. That doesn't exclude or preclude the fact that they need to get better, because if they don't, they're going to lose customers for life. It's customers for life to the dealership, but also to the brand.
Yeah, I mean, the idea, and you've heard me say it in every dealership I've ever worked in, every owner has heard me say it. It's cheaper to keep the existing customers than it is to go out and replace your customers. Yeah. So we always, at least my concept always was, we need to figure out ways to keep our customers happy so that when it comes time for them to get another car, or it comes time for somebody to get a car that they know, they're going to send them to us. That should be the mentality within a dealership. And in too many dealerships, it's not. So, but yes, I mean, I always work towards, let's figure out how we keep a customer, not how we get rid of a customer.
So tonight was members only stream. So back on the, we get all sorts of comments. Here's from Marty. Hypothetically, nudge, nudge. Isn't it likely that chip shortages will magically appear from time to time to create this short-term profit opportunity? Per Zach, seems like the new world order. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe there will be other. I mean, just to be clear, what's happening now is something that I don't think anyone. It's very real. But could there be other ways to inflate supply demand in the future potentially?
And truth be told, it's not just cars.
Yeah.
It's all consumer electronics.
Late to the live stream. Hope you can get to my question. Given the huge value of selling our current vehicle, I am looking at taking advantage of our positive equity and exceptional offer on a factory order Jeep Wrangler. I have never done a factory order. Any tips for what I should get in writing from the dealership when I place my order deposit? I think, if I'm not mistaken, Resources blog, I'm going to reply to this one. How to factory order a car. I love it when this one you wrote. Thank you, Pops.
You're welcome.
Yes. Boom. Link. Post.
Oh, you got to hit the link thing?
I've got so much to teach you, Pops.
You really do. You can teach a short, fat, balding man new things, you know.
You can indeed. We will hit that with a quick.
I don't have any family in Central Florida. I'm not looking for any family in Central Florida.
Thank you. That's for the Central Florida fee that the dealership charged, $1,995.
So let's wrap tonight with we'll be live on Saturday night. Very excited for that.
Yes. Are we doing a remote live stream like tonight?
Possibly. We'll see. We'll see. I might come down the shore. I might be here. We'll have to figure that out. Oh, I'll give a quick office tour here as well, just in case anyone's curious. And I was thinking we could end with one of the best clips and snippets we have. Are you all ears?
Yeah.
In case you didn't know.
I know that people my age, people half my age, people my son's age, they just can't afford to buy a car today because the price of cars is too damn high. And if you live out in a rural area, how the hell are you getting around? You can't afford that truck. You can't afford that tractor because the price of transportation is just too damn high.
You couldn't have said it better yourself, Dad.
I might have.
Okay, I'm gonna make myself big really quick, or I'm gonna get you off the screen, but please don't leave. I'm gonna share this the space, and then
Yeah, because I've never seen this space.
Oh yeah, you haven't either. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me try and do this without knocking over a light. I'm gonna leave you for a second.
Yeah, don't knock over your new mic, because one day I hope to have a mic like that. Because right now I have mic envy.
Okay, so here I am. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Here, I can leave you. All right.
Oh man, you got such a nice ceiling. So I don't know how else to, okay, now I'm just going to be right here. I don't really know how to display it or really show the space. Is that it? That's the whole thing?
I mean, it's pretty tiny, yeah. But we've got more space within the space if we need the space.
Sure. Man, I wish I would have been your salesman.
Hey, it's yeah, they got free LaCroix. Well, we have to pay thousands of dollars a month to get the free LaCroix. So is it really free?
So it's not really free, is it? Yeah. But really, I like the fact that they spared every expense on the ceilings.
The ceilings nice. Jay wants to know if we're hiring software developers. Kimberly, thank you for being here. Yeah, Jay, we are actually. Here, we'll do a quick demonstration of what we're hiring for. Let me share my screen again. Good night, Kimberly.
Good night, Kimberly.
This is quite the angle that people have. If you go on our website and then careers, we're hiring 3 different software engineering roles, a product manager, a designer. We need help with design. We have the head of marketing role up as well. We're looking for people there, but I don't know. Really, it's more these roles up here. So if you're interested, if you know anyone that's interested, please, we are looking for people to join us. I think we need all the help in the world to try and make this a better situation for people to buy cars. So fingers crossed. All right, man. Well, let's call it a night. I've got the camera in a weird place. Thank you for being here. Thanks for doing this. And
my pleasure. Thank you to all those out there who participated tonight, who sent in questions and comments. We have nothing if you do not participate. So it's all on you. Thank you.
Love you, Pops. Appreciate it.
Love you too. I'll talk to you later, honey.
All right. There we go.